Disclaimer. The first 10 minutes of this video is of me talking about the train from the Titfield Thunderbolt. If you want to see the actual project underway, then please skip ahead. I have provided timings down in the description with titles so you know where to skip ahead if you wish to do so. Hello there everybody and welcome to Map the Dragon Railways, and haven't I got a special month for you. So today, the 5th of March, celebrates 70 years since the gala premiere of the Titfield Thunderbolt, an Ealing comedy that is very famous within the railway community. And I decided to spend this entire month celebrating that. So every Sunday I'm going to release a video to celebrate the Titfield Thunderbolt. And this is the first one. And we are going to make the train lion-pulled. Now, the reason I'd done this was actually I had a Rocket Railways £10 box, and this coach body was in it, and I did have ideas of giving it a new chassis and having it as a functioning coach. Even though it's a bit tatty, I could repaint it and everything. And then I thought, hang on, I could make Dan's house. And then I realised I could actually make the full train. Now, of course, Rapido Trains had announced their Titfield Thunderbolt range and what they're doing under license of Studio Canal. And I was astonished to see for a model of Lion, the Dan's house and the tow brake van would set you back £300 for one of the sets. I think that was the cheapest one as well. So yeah, quite expensive. I know Rapido stuff is absolutely full on good quality. But like I say, it's a lot of money for some people who might really want something to celebrate the Titfield Thunderbolt, but not be able to really afford that. So my idea is to make the Titfield Thunderbolt on a budget. I am going to be looking at Dan's house and that whole train that Lion pulled, as well as the trains the 14XX, number 1401 had made, and other things like that. So yeah, this month is going to be really good for you. So this episode starts you off with the train Lion hauled at the last train in the film. So basically, spoiler alert, the Pearson Crump, the bus company, sabotaged the railway, derailed their 14XX and the buffet car, and they had 12 hours before the inspector was around. So they had to improvise, and they got Lion out of the museum. Well, I say Lion, that's the name of the locomotive in real life. In the film, it was named Thunderbolt. And they got Thunderbolt at the museum, as well as using a house that a railway veteran lived in. It was old Victorian, it was a mock-up, but old Victorian coach body, and a bloke called Dan, who was a plate layer, working on the tracks for 40-odd years. He lived in there in the field, and basically he got arrested for stealing another 14XX, and they used his house as a replacement coach. And what they done was put his house on a Loriot Y wagon. I think I've pronounced that correctly, but if I haven't, I do apologise. Basically, Thunderbolt, aka Lion, hauled this train. And yeah, it was quite a good ending, and the railway was saved, and everyone's all happy. Great ending and that. But yeah, it's quite a good part of the film. It's quite an important part. The day the railway passed its inspection to be a light railway. And yeah, it's really good. So, of course, Dan's house, we need to make that. And we need to have the tow brake van. So I'm going to start off with the tow brake van and go into a bit of depth. So with tow brake vans on a budget, you can actually buy ready-to-run ones fairly cheap. So what I would actually fully recommend is the Oxford Rail towed brake van. Now, of course, everything I'm going to be doing in this series isn't going to be bang on correct detail like Rapido would do. It's something that will look good and will resemble, part of the Titfield Thunderbolt. So, of course, this hasn't got bang on exact same details. You can get other different variations, but you can get these for about £15 now, and I believe I picked mine up for actually about 12. So, that's really good. And it's even got a detail inside. It's really good. And yeah, it looks really, really nice. Now, if your budget doesn't stretch to that, you can get a older Hornby one. Though as I get onto the series next week, you'll notice that this is quite tall compared to the later version by Oxford Rail. So yeah, these can be found in job lots and purchased rather cheaply. So if your budget doesn't stretch to Oxford Rail, you can go with an old Hornby one. And yeah, they still look really nice. I know mine's got a soldering mark, but that doesn't really matter. Then we talk about Dan's house. Now, it's quite easy. I've got a four-wheel coach body. Now, you could buy a brand new four-wheel coach, or, well, a second-hand one would be cheaper. Or you could try and find one in a job lot where there's just a loose body or something. Or there is a website called Wordsworth Model Railways where you can download and print off kits, and one of them's coach bodies for the chassis of these. So you could always print one of these or edit one and make it into Dan's house and that. And you could probably actually make it more custom to the actual house. And yeah, or you could actually even scratch build. But that's all cardboard and that, but I want to go fairly simple. So I was lucky to have this coach body, and this is what started off this whole month of series. Then I looked at the wagon that Dan's house was sat on, the Loriot Y wagon. Now you won't believe this, but there's only two manufacturers that are making these. Hornby and Rapido for, you know, the Titfield Thunderbolt range. And they are both around £30 each, so that isn't budget friendly at all. The cheapest I can think of is a Lomac wagon by Hornby, which is brown, so you'd have to paint that. And I was originally going to get them, because you can get them for about £10 to £15, which is quite nice. They're not bang on the same and that, but it would resemble it. And in fact, Hornby done a 60th anniversary Titfield Thunderbolt celebration set once, and in fact they just had one of these bodies painted yellow and stuck onto one of these Lomacs, and I was going to go for that. And I did do some hunting. I couldn't really find anything until I came across a Bachmann well wagon. Now sadly these can be around £20, so it's more money, but I actually managed to pick mine up for £15, so I was really lucky. I compromised and got one that was missing hooks, there as you can see, but £15, and that's much more like the one in the film. It's of course not a Loriot Y, but it's close enough. So basically all I need to do is sit this coach body on here, but of course it's too big, so I'm going to have to shave off the edges, cut down the legs, do this up, and that's what this video is about. So I'm going to show you the whole process of this. Another thing with low wagons, I almost forgot to say, you can buy a kit, a Dapol kit. They're about £10 average, a kit of a Lomac, and then you can actually just paint it straight up into the livery you want, which would be grey. So yeah, that's another option for you if you're looking down that route. But one of the reasons, apart from finding one that's actually closer to what resembles in the film, I thought there's people out there who do not really want to do kits and things like that. So I thought, let's use ready-to-run stock. Of course, this will require some painting, but this is basically fine as it is at the moment. One thing I'm quite interested in is, in a film, if you ever watch it, the Dan's house has ropes attaching it to the wagon. On each four corners, you know, you've got a bit of rope going down to basically near the couplings on these wagons. And basically, I'm actually curious as to whether Rapido Trains actually does this or not. They even have a cord that goes to the brake van, and that would be for the emergency cord. But I'm not going to model this bit because of separating the train all the time. But I am going to model the ropes holding the coach body on. Also, I'm going to do Dan's chimney has sticking out that in the film it drops when going under a bridge. Of course, I don't need it to drop or anything, but I thought it would be nice to have the feature there. So quickly, before I start this project, I'm going to talk Lion. So Lion is a locomotive that worked for the Manchester Ship Canal, and there's a lot of mystery about it. So I'll let you go do that research yourself. Though Lion is quite a special loco in the film, and actually pulled this train, the 14XX, which you can easily buy anywhere from Hornby or even an old Dapol one. You know, didn't pull this train. So some people might be happy just the 14XX pulling it. I am actually, but at the same time, I would love a model of Lion. Now, that's where you have to go to Rapido Trains, but you can buy the Lion separately, and they are about £152 from Hatton's. So that is very good. So that's what I plan to buy. I plan to buy that, but make the train on a budget. And at the end of this video, I'm going to work out how much money I've actually saved doing this. So yeah, you can do the same. Come and join me and enjoy watching this. I know it's a very long intro. I wanted to get into some detail. So yes, come and join me and watch me make the Titfield Thunderbolt. So here we start, and I've got the well wagon and the Hornby four-wheel coach body, which I'm showing you off here. And at first I need to remove these lugs, otherwise it doesn't fit on the well wagon at all. So to start off this process, I got the pliers and just tore the tabs off. Next, I then got a small metal file and filed down the plastic until it was flush with the main base of the coach body. So now there you go, it's all done as you can see here. So shall we see if it fits? No, it doesn't, because I need to file down these corners. Now, be careful, because you will get covered in tiny bits of blue plastic dust, which I did when I done it. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm just about to file this down, and this did take a little while, but it was all right in the end. So I just kept filing down bits and then checking it over and over again until it was complete. And as you can see, I'm just doing my finishing touches here. Let's see if it fits. And yes, it does, and it's quite flush, isn't it? And do you know what? That looks rather nice. Yeah, it's a little bit uneven in places, but do you know what? That's perfectly fine, and from a distance on a model railway, once it's all finished and painted up, you won't notice that. Next up, it was time to take the roof off, as the roof will have to go into grey at a later date, and it'll be easier without the roof all attached to the main body. So I used a screwdriver and just prised it out, and after a bit of persuasion, the top did pop out. And here I'm just showing you the inside of the coach and the window glazing. Next, it's time to fill up the sink with some warm water, and I shall add a few drops of hand soap in there. And now I feel here I've filled it up enough. I take my coach body and I submerge it in the water, and as well as my coach roof and the glazing, and I just give it a bit of a soak and just clean it about. And this is to dislodge any oil or grease, as well as getting rid of those bits of plastic dust that I was on about earlier. And here I'm putting a bit of hand soap on a toothbrush and just scrubbing the coach body, and this helps to loosen, like I say, all the oil and all the grub that might have accumulated on it over the years. Then after washing all this up, I leave it in a window to dry, and then I go on to the next step. So next up, I'm going to try and fashion up a chimney using this telegraph pole, as well as a 00 gauge figure of a man, and I'm going to, sounds weird, cut his head off as he's wearing a hat. And I thought that would make a nice topping to the chimney. And I'm just going to snip a bit of telegraph pole. And it's not going to be all wonky and angled like the one in the film, but it's a good representation, and at least it's there. So here I'm just cutting a bit of telegraph pole and just cutting it small enough until I'm happy enough. And I just keep checking it until I've got a nice length of chimney. Next up, I got the small file out again and just filed down the ends just to give it a nice flat end, not as rough as it was from when I snipped it. So there's the man, and there's his head decapitated, and I'm just using some poly cement to glue it on, and there you go, that's the result of it. And I will touch it up with some black paint at some point. So now I've got that preparation out the way, it's time to paint the coach body. Now you can see it's yellow, and I actually tried some hand brushing some acrylic on there, and it failed miserably, so that's what's left of that failure. So instead of paint brushing, which would have been cheaper, I had to spend a bit more money and buy some Painter's Touch paint in a spray can. I get along with spray cans much better, and if you're newer to stuff like this, modifying stock, then I can thoroughly recommend using spray paints as they're easier. It might be better to add a primer first, but I didn't, as I would save some money doing it. And here I'm just doing a nice thin layer of paint. So the trick of this is to do many thin coats instead of one big thick coat, otherwise you'll lose all that moulded detail on the coach body, which would be quite nice to keep. And to my annoyance, this can was broken, so it kept dripping out the bottom, so that's why I had such a weird reaction then. But yeah, I just kept up on it and just kept doing these layers. Now I'm onto the roof, and for this I used some more Painter's Touch, but I used a satin grey, and I'm just showing you off the roof because I've masked off all the window glazing. I don't want grey windows. Here's the paint here, some more Painter's Touch again, and stone grey, and it's a satin finish, like I said, so it should have a nice finish. So I've got to shake the can, of course, and then I start doing the thin layers of paint. And you know what, this didn't take too long. It's only a roof, though make sure you do get round those gutters and round different areas, because it is quite easy actually to miss certain bits, as I found out. Also, you'll notice I'm wearing latex gloves, and this is to keep the paint off my hands. So as I wait for the body and roof to dry, I go back to more painter's touch. This is a matte black in a pot, and I just tidy up that bit of the chimney as I was on about. Now here are the finished painted items, and you can see the yellow on the body of the coach, and do you know what, that looks rather nice, doesn't it? And yeah, I'm just showing you off a little bit. I didn't do a neat job on the inside because you'll only be peering through it. And here you can see all the grey roof, and do you know what, that looks really nice. A very nice sheen to it, I must say. It's very much like Brakevans. And now I just need to get rid of that masking tape that was there and make sure and hope that I've done a good job masking it. And to my luck, it did work, and it was all perfectly fine. And here it is all with the masking tape off, and yeah, that was very neat, wasn't it? So what I need to do next is fit the roof, which is just a standard push fit, and it all clicks into place, as you can see here. And there you go. It's really starting to look like Dan's house from the Titfield Thunderbolt, isn't it? And I'm just showing you all off with a nice roof on. So yeah, I just need to do some other bits to it. So I just start off by gluing back the chimney. And you may notice that I've got a bit of cotton on there, and I cut that up and done 3 bits, as of in the film, Dan's house chimney is held on in 3 places, and there you can see it all close up, all fitted and glued together. And you know what, I think that looks really nice. And yeah, it's definitely coming together now. We are very close to finishing this project now, and I need to glue this body onto the well wagon. And what I done was just dot some poly cement all around the edge of the well wagon where the coach will sit, and pushed it down, and it actually stuck on basically straight away actually. Now we are 1 step away, and here I've got some brown cotton, and this is to be ropes that hold from each 4 corners of the coach onto the wagon. Now some people don't really make this out in the film, but it's there. If you go back and watch it and have a look, you will notice there are ropes again on each corner of the coach, and they sort of verge towards the centre of the well wagon by the couplings. So that's what I'm doing now, and just using a bit of poly cement, gluing it on. And I've done this to all 4 corners. Now this is something I wonder if Rapido will do, because as I found out here, and you might not actually want to do this, as picking up this model you can easily forget and end up having a mistake, where you end up going to pick up the model and then you squeeze the cotton and then they come out of place and then you have to glue them again. But here you go, that's that side all done, and having a close-up, and that's what it'll look like. And I do actually think it does improve the look of this model quite a bit. Now this clip is running at 2 times speed, and you can actually see here I'm taking my time and going very careful, and I actually take advantage of that chimney to hold the cotton up. And as you can see, just keep poly cementing those little bits, gluing them into place, and just being in general rather careful. Now all done to the 4 corners, this wonderful Dan's house conversion is complete. So here we have it, the completed Dan's house project. And do you know what? I really do like this project, and I am very pleased with it. Things I could do improve it. I could always add an interior in the coach, maybe add some curtains. I almost done that actually. But do you know what? I'm quite happy with it. And one thing I wonder if Rapido will do is these ropes, because if not, I stepped ahead of him with that. But yeah, I'm very pleased with it. Of course, it won't be to the same standard as Rapido's. It's not bang on, because they've actually researched and made the actual coach as a model that was a replica of a Victorian-style coach in the film. So yeah, they are more accurate, of course. But 1, I've had great fun making this, and 2, I've saved a lot of money. And yeah, if you look at it here, it just looks really nice. And I've got the tow brake van up. I do not have Lion yet, so that Loco to the left is actually a terrier. But yeah, have a little bit of a running session. But yeah, I think the yellows come out nice, the ropes and that, and everything just looks really nice. And do you know what? It's just overall, I'm quite pleased with it. So now I think it's time we have a bit of a running session with this coach, don't you think? And yes, like I say, I haven't got a Lion at the moment, but I have a terrier. I don't even have a 14XX yet, but like I say, here's the terrier, WC and PR number 4, and I thought, yeah, let's run a nice little 060 with this train. And you know what? I think it looks rather nice, actually. So let's fling the controller into forwards and set her off. And enjoy the running session. Right then, now it's time to do some maths to work out what I have actually saved by making this project. So Rapido's full set, which is the Lion, Dan's house and a tow brake van, cost £299.95. For my version, the tow cost me £12 from Rails of Sheffield at the time, and I actually already had it for, well, let's say a while now. I've probably had it about 3 years as of filming. Then for Dan's house, I bought the well wagon for £14.47 on eBay. Then the two paints together, the grey for the roof and the yellow for the bodywork of the coach, cost me £11.58 together. The rest I already had the stuff for, so like the man's head in the telegraph pole and all the cotton, I already had that. So overall, this train has cost £191.01. Bearing in mind that will include the model of Lion, which of course isn't in this view of yours here now. But after I buy the Lion, that's how much it will cost me altogether, £191.01. So I have actually saved £108.94 by making it myself. And like I said, I've had more fun in making it as I would have buying one. And do you know what? I've got something that resembles the Titfield Thunderbolt, and it saved me £100. Well, 110, just under. So I think that's great, and now I have a wonderful train that I can run on the layout, and it does look quite nice on here. So thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below, what do you think of this project? Are you going to do it yourself? Or just say hello, share this video with your friends, and please consider subscribing for your support. It would be greatly appreciated. That's it for now, and I'll see you next week. Cheerio for now.